The grocery store was packed that afternoon, buzzing with people and carts clinking down the aisles. But no one expected the scene that would unfold near the self-checkout. A well-dressed older woman, sharp heels clicking and voice raised, suddenly slapped a quiet, modest-looking young woman in front of everyone. The younger woman stood frozen, her hand on her cheek, not saying a word. Gasps echoed through the store, phones came out, and people began whispering. The older woman shouted insults, clearly assuming she was putting someone in her place. But what she didn't know, what no one knew, was the truth about the young woman. She wasn't just anyone. Behind her quiet appearance and simple outfit was a woman with power, influence, and a heart bigger than her bank account. She was, in fact, the billionaire fiancée of the older woman's own son. And just moments later, as a man rushed through the crowd and yelled, "That's my fiancée," everything changed. Faces dropped, the crowd fell silent, and the woman who threw the slap realized too late just how badly she had misjudged someone. But what happens next is even more shocking. Everyone turned to look at the man rushing forward, tall, confident, eyes full of shock and fury. He pushed through the stunned crowd and gently pulled the shaken woman into his arms. "Are you okay?" he asked softly, brushing her hair back. The older woman froze, her face draining of color. "Your fiancé," she whispered, her voice cracking as the truth hit her. She hadn't recognized the young woman in front of her. No fancy clothes, no designer bag, no flashy jewelry. Just a simple, kind face that now revealed more strength than anyone had noticed. Whispers spread like wildfire. People were already filming, murmuring things like, "Isn't that Daniel Carter, the tech billionaire? And wait, she's the one behind the new clean water project." But to the older woman, none of that mattered now. All she saw was her mistake, loud, public, and irreversible. Still, she held her ground, trying to make sense of what just happened. She looked at her son, searching his face for answers, maybe even a way out of this mess. But he didn't look back. He was focused only on his fiancée, and just like that, a quiet moment before the storm. No one knew what would be said next. But everyone was listening. Daniel's mother, Margaret, finally found her voice, though it was shaky and uncertain. "You never told me it was her," she said, looking between the two of them. "How was I supposed to know?" Her words fell flat. No one moved, no one blinked. The young woman, Sophia, stayed silent, still holding her cheek. She didn't want to make a scene, but the damage had already been done, not just to her. Trust had been broken. Deep down, she had always sensed Margaret's disapproval. But this was different. It wasn't just judgment, it was humiliation right in front of strangers. Daniel turned slowly to his mother. "I didn't tell you because I knew you'd judge her by what she wears, where she comes from. But none of that matters. She's brilliant, generous, and the woman I love." The crowd listened, some nodding, some recording every word. Meanwhile, Sophia's eyes met an older woman near the back of the crowd, a cashier, who recognized her from a charity gala. Her eyes widened. She knew who Sophia really was. That moment of recognition began to ripple silently through the group. Some were starting to realize this wasn't just a family argument. It was something much bigger. Margaret's lips tightened as the murmurs grew louder. She could feel the eyes on her, some judging, some filming, some just waiting for what came next. "You think I care about clothes?" she snapped, her voice louder now, more defensive than firm. "I care that you've hidden your life from your own mother. I care that you're throwing everything away for someone who—" She stopped herself, but the silence that followed said everything she didn't. Sophia took a small step back. But Daniel moved with her, protective and unwavering. The crowd leaned in, sensing the tension about to snap. "You don't know her," he said, his tone sharper than before. "You've never tried to. You saw a simple woman and assumed she wasn't good enough. The cashier near the back finally spoke up. She's the founder of Carter Hope Foundation, isn't she? The one helping rebuild schools? Gasps followed. People began piecing it together, the news stories. The quiet philanthropist who never sought the spotlight. Margaret blinked, confused, then overwhelmed as the truth started closing in. Still, she didn't back down. Her pride was louder than reason. You've made your choice, she said bitterly. But what she didn't realize, her next words would decide everything. Before Margaret could speak again, a sudden voice cut through the thick tension. She didn't make the choice. I did. A well-dressed man in a tailored navy suit stepped forward from the crowd. His presence instantly shifted the energy in the room. People turned, whispering his name, Charles Kensington, a powerful investor and longtime associate of the Carter family. Daniel's eyes narrowed, and Sophia froze. Margaret's face lit up in brief relief. Charles, thank goodness. Tell him he's making a mistake. But Charles raised a hand, silencing her. Not here to defend anyone. I'm here because this affects more than just your family drama. He looked at Sophia, then at Daniel. You should have told me who she really was before the deal closed. Daniel's jaw clenched. This isn't about business. Charles stepped closer, lowering his voice but making sure everyone still heard. It is now. The board found out who your fiancé is, and they're questioning your judgment. A scandal like this, in public, with headlines already brewing. Investors are nervous. Your position at the top isn't as secure as you think. Sophia's heart dropped. The slap wasn't the worst of it. This had just become a corporate war. And she was suddenly at the center of it. Daniel stepped forward, his expression cold now, the softness gone. So that's what this is about. My relationship threatens. Your position more than my happiness means to you. His voice echoed through the stunned crowd. Margaret tried to interrupt, but Daniel didn't look at her. You've all forgotten who built Carter Innovations from the ground up. You think one moment one headline does that. Then he turned to Charles. You can tell the board I'm stepping down. Gasps erupted. Sophia grabbed his arm. Daniel, no. Don't throw everything away because of me. But he smiled at her, tired but sincere. I'm not throwing anything away, taking it back. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a sleek black flash drive. I've been quietly preparing for this. A separate venture, fully funded, fully owned. No board, no controlling interests. His eyes locked on Charles. And no. One to answer to. The store buzzed with whispers. Charles looked stunned. Margaret was speechless. Then came the final twist. The older cashier who had recognized Sophia stepped forward again, clearing her throat. Actually, there's one more thing. Sophia isn't just your fiancée, she's my daughter. Everyone went silent. Daniel looked at Sophia, stunned. And just like that, the story changed again. The air stood still for a moment as Sophia turned to face the woman she hadn't seen in years. Her voice trembled. Mom? The cashier nodded, tears filling her eyes. I never wanted to be far. I just didn't know how to come back into your life once it all changed. Sophia stepped forward, her emotions overflowing, and hugged her. The crowd around them softened, the tension finally breaking. Daniel stood beside them, hand on Sophia's back, grounding her. Margaret watched, her pride now replaced with silence. For the first time, she saw the full picture, not just a simple woman, but someone who had built herself from the ground up, carried grace in silence, and held more power in her kindness than most did in status. Outside the store, reporters were already gathering, but Daniel didn't care. The old company could have its drama. He and Sophia would start fresh, together, building something on their terms. Sophia had found not only her voice, but her roots. The crowd slowly dispersed, touched and quiet, having witnessed more than just a public argument. It was a reminder that true worth can't be judged by appearance, and love, when real, changes everything.